Hello and welcome back. So if you didn't watch my video on the silver lining, I am going more into that. It's about finding gratitude and the things that are positive about EDS. So I'm going to be glancing at my paper because I still have a lot written down. And if you want more ideas, go look at that video. So the next thing I've noticed about EDS is we learn we don't need to please others. We learn it because we have to, but if we were always looking to please everyone, we wouldn't make it. No one in this world can, but we have to learn it a lot sooner and a lot quicker because our bodies won't let us please everyone. And that's just the way it is. We have compassion. We can even more so than most people, we can understand people who are hurting, who are in pain, things like that. It does, and it hurts us when others don't show compassion to us or to other people, which can be a negative, but it can also be a positive because people learn that they can come to us for that. We learn to think outside of the box, ways to save a little bit of energy so that we have it for later, different ways of doing things like that. But most people are just, well, this is the way it's always been done, so this is the way I'm going to do it. We learn to love our life, not just the people in our life, but life in general, if we choose to. That's one that I think it's one of the stages, is getting through the denial and the hatred and learning to accept where we're at and love who we are and love life. And treasure it, because we don't know when our next flare is going to happen. And so when we're doing good, we feel good. We learn not to judge others because we don't know what's going on in their life. And along with compassion and not judging, we have empathy. And we are aware of invisible illnesses and want to spread the word of it because we experience it. And so when we see people parked in a handicapped parking spot with a handicapped placard and they're walking just fine, we don't necessarily assume they're using someone else's plaque. We know that they could have an illness that we can't see. We have the ability to make others laugh and smile. I think we look for those things that, especially if we try, we can look for those things that are funny and they can bring a smile to other people's faces, and we know how important that is. Education can be important to a lot of us because it's the one thing we can do when we're not experiencing brain fog. And you can do that more from a bed than other things. We can reach places to scratch those itches. I always used to wonder why people would, outside of my family, why are you asking people to scratch your itch on your back or whatever? Why don't you get it yourself? That's because me and my family could all get it ourselves. And it's because they can't. And I didn't realize that. So, we learn to use digital tools to do things to make life easier for us. That can actually give us skills that are in more and more demand now. We have learned to focus on getting well instead of focus on when we're bad, and that can help prevent some of the issues. We've learned to advocate for ourselves and for others. Our soft skin, a lot of people want that. We've learned to take time for ourselves and say no, even though at times it's hard because we have to. We learn strength and resilience, even because it's just what we go through. We learn so we've had to learn a life balance and be frugal with things, how to be frugal, both because of money and because we have to balance everything that we can. Gymnastics can be easy for us It may be hard for our bodies, but it can be easy for us. And figure skating. I have heard a lot of people have a lot of faster bursts because of it. And we've learned that there's always a spectrum of abilities and disabilities in everything. Ballet, I've heard, is a lot better. Our appearance, a lot of people have said, at least in the beginning stages, they look younger, but as they get older, it does change. We know anatomy, physiology, biomechanics a lot better than most people, and it's easier for us to learn because of what happens to us. Stress management is something we have to learn. And hope. We can have hope for the future. And that's something that some people, when they're struggling through a hard time, they struggle to have hope, then things get better, they have hope for a little while, then things get worse again and they lose hope. Since there's an underlying problem all the time, we learn we have to have hope. And we can pick things up with our feet, do things with our feet where a lot of people can't. And it's not necessarily something we have to train. So those are some of the things that I've learned. Comment down below if you have any of the things that you have that are positives you can see in ADS. And let's try and spread that. Look for those things to be grateful for. Thank you for your time, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.